again, it's been a while since I've done anything on the Lotus Elise. I'm really surprised. I've had this car for 4 years, and I've realized I've only done like 3 videos with it because we've been so busy focusing on other people's cars that I haven't covered my own enough, and I'm sorry, because this car is awesome. I've had it for a little over 20,000 miles in 4 years of ownership. I bought it in July of 2017, and I have driven it a lot in the summertime. Now, we live in Park City. We get really serious snow. I have not yet put winter tires on it. I still might. So that means that all the mileage I put on it, that 20,000 miles in 4 years, has happened between April and October every year. When I first bought this car, I bought it in Los Angeles and drove it up to Park City where we're based. And I promptly declared with finality that these should not be taken on road trips. So here I am, taking it on a road trip.
You're watching Everyday Driver. We make a TV show, podcast,
and YouTube channels dedicated to great cars, driving adventures, and helping you find a car you'll love.
subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss a thing.
So I'm starting off with this. This is a greatest hits through Utah and Colorado and Arizona, and I'm taking my son with me, and we are going together. There he is. Taking my son with me. We're going together for a 3-day road trip down some greatest hits. Cars with good handling are the things that really speak to me, and I love the rotation of a mid-engine. So here we have a serious moment in time car. Regulations have moved on to the point that this car isn't even possible anymore. It doesn't have proper pedestrian crash for the front. It doesn't have proper airbags. In fact, dual stage airbags is what killed this car for the US. I love this car. I have tracked it. I have driven it regularly. I have done tons of canyon runs with it. It is still my favorite car I've ever owned or driven. Lightweight and handily. That's right, handily. If you want to think about light cars that are sold or available, this is 400 pounds lighter than a Mazda Miata. It is 200 pounds lighter than a Toyota MR2 Spider. You can't get anything else for the road that is lighter than this, unless you go like Caterham or Morgan three-wheeler, but do you want to do that? So good news, bad news on the Elise. I bought this with 54,000 miles. Right now it has 72,000 miles. I am the 7th owner. Now, these are two things you would probably normally want to avoid. A high mile Elise for an Elise, high mile Elise, 54,000 miles, and 7 owners. Now, the last 2 or 3 owners were actually all the same group of guys. They kept kind of trading who owned it. It was their backup track car, which I find absurd. It had been sitting on the curb for about 2 years before I bought it. So I was glad to actually kind of take it and save it and give it a life to drive again, because it was rarely getting driven. That means it's not in perfect shape. If you'll notice down on the haunches near the rear wheels, that's actually got a lot of track damage over the years. I've got a couple little cracks and bobbles in the front fascia, which isn't really what you want on a Lotus, because of course if you want to fix that, you kind of have to replace the entire front of the car. This also has Nitron coilovers on it, which I have to say I love. They are awesome. They give a surprisingly good ride. It's difficult to get a car with a wheelbase this short to actually feel comfortable, but what's crazy is with these coilovers on it, this is a great track car, but it also rides better on the street than a lot of the brand new press cars we get. One of the big things we hear a lot is people saying that they can't have a sports car because they can't make it fit their life. I understand that sports cars are low to the ground. Your roads may not like that. I understand that they have limited visibility. Look at me compared to this monster Bighorn Ram in front of me. I cannot see around him. I understand that's an issue. And yes, there's difficulty with storage. But the trade-offs are immense because you're so involved in this car. This is a driving experience pretty much unlike anything else out there. Once you drive a car that asks a lot of you, you realize that driving is fun when you are actually asked to be involved. When I drive this car, I actually try to take the top off a lot of the time. Today has been a little weird. We've had scattered rain showers constantly every road we've been on, so that's the reason I don't have the top off during this part of the video. I will take it off over the course of this road trip because that's the reason you have a removable top. And I thought I was going to leave the hard top on this car all the time, but when the weather's right, it's amazing how much fun it is to expose yourself to the elements in this car because it's so light. In addition, this is closest to driving something like a motorcycle or getting hit by a big truck. I mean, good Lord.
Oh man.
Ooh, a little bit of understeer.
Woo.
Tires are a bit wet. You would think, Lotus being a British company, that their cars would be great in the rain. No. Because this is mid-engine, that means 60% of the weight is over the rear wheels. The front wheels are actually very light. This is some decent rain here. Okay, yeah. Then you add to the fact that this has manual steering. So what that means is when the steering's going to give up, it gives you a lot of information. But what's key and quite scary is that when it's going to give up, the steering gets really light. It starts to give away all information. Just throw it completely out and get really, really light. That comes up a lot easier in the rain. The top is mostly water sealed. I'll get dripped on a little bit, but mostly it's okay. What I like about this is it just adds to the adventure. We're earning it now. I love it. Alrighty, here we go. See, now this is more like it. I finally have the top off. The sun decided to come out after the torrential downpour that we fought our way through. Having the top off in this car, being on a great mountain road, in spite of all the stuff we've driven, and we've driven a lot of amazing things that I would absolutely recommend you buy, this car does a better job than anything else of just decompressing me, focusing me on something else, because you can't really focus on anything else when you drive hard. Put me in a great environment in this car, and I'm just happier. I've heard all the Lotus jokes, all of the lots of trouble, usually serious. The thing about this car for me is I've had it 4 years, nearly 20,000 miles, and it's been incredibly reliable. Oil changes, tires, regular kind of service maintenance. When I got to this summer after having it kind of in hibernation all winter, I thought, you know, this car deserves a good tune-up service. So I had full coolant flush, spark plugs, air filter, and the oil and typical service. It was right about 400 bucks, and the car runs better than it ever has. I rarely spend money on this car, and it just goes where you want to go. Now, you have to accept the fact that there is sacrifice. The two of us in here, that's about perfect. We've packed ourselves with a lot of gear. We've completely filled the trunk. We've also filled his entire passenger footwell. In fact, right now, the top is in his passenger footwell, so we just barely fit in this car for a good multi-day road trip. Whoever you are with in this car, you better like them, because you're going to be touching them somewhere in the point of the driving. It's going to happen. With this car weighing right at 2,000 pounds, it really doesn't consume much. All your normal consumables that a big car would do, this car just doesn't. The grip in this car is staggeringly good. There's the second cam. Look at this.
Plus 280.
And we're on one of my favorite stretches. This is Highway 12 between Boulder and Escalante. This stretch here is called the Hog's Back. You're on the spine of a ridge. It drops away on both sides. What'd you think, bud?
Crazy.
Pretty fun, huh?
Why are there no guards? People are gonna die.
Let's talk about the other side of road tripping. You aren't on a fun road. You have to get somewhere. There's mileage to be done. This is the biggest day of our road trip. We're spending a better part of 6 hours in the car, which, I'll be honest, in the Elise is too much. If you've just got miles to do, this is not a fun place to be. It's why I didn't enjoy it when I first bought it in Los Angeles and drove it up I-15 to get it home to Utah. These early Elises aren't known for great air conditioners. Now, they do work. The air conditioner and heater both work in this car. There's little tweaks you can do to make it work better. What I have found is it keeps the cabin about 10 to 15 degrees cooler than the outside temperature. We've had some 90 to 95 degree days while we've all been on this road trip. When it's 95 outside, guess what? You're just hot in here. There's nothing you can do to solve it. It doesn't matter. I've thought about recharging the AC. Guess where those hoses are? They go right by the vent on the right side of the car. You can't reach them through the vent. You're supposed to pop a wheel off the car. But what I've realized is that there are vital things that you need to make road tripping in a Lotus Elise work. First, comfortable clothing. Secondly, earplugs or possibly noise-canceling headphones. I can't stress enough how much you've got to protect your ears. There's nothing else to hear anyway, so you may as well do something like that. And then you just settle in. Luckily, the seat is actually very comfortable. I do have enough headroom. In fact, with the soft top, I have more headroom than I do with the hard top. My head almost never touches, which is really nice. You have to learn things like, hey, a water bottle will store here by my seat, right behind my hip. It almost works like a cup holder. Various usability things you have to learn. So, of course, you're tolerating the noise, you're tolerating the heat, you're tolerating the fact that you and your passenger better be friends, but you're going to be pretty close the whole trip. But you're hanging on. Many of the places that you want to visit often are connected to great driving roads. And you get up here and you're in the family minivan or whatever, and maybe that's the requirement. But if you have the opportunity to grab a car that is even vaguely fun to drive and take it to a place where you marvel that a road even goes through there, I can't recommend it more. I am just north of Durango, Colorado, onto Highway 550, known much better as the $1 Million Highway in western Colorado. We've done a whole piece on it before. We had our cheap sports cars on there, and that was actually the trip that convinced me I need to be on this road in the Lotus, and now I am, finally. I thought if I'm going to start road tripping this car, this is road trip number one. Of course, you will have this moment right here. 5-seat SUV, 2 couples on Harleys, and then a large 18-wheeler that clearly has some reason to go this way because he's not even loaded. This is the flip side of bringing a great car here, is that since not everybody did, you have some moments when you just think, well, this was a waste. But when you're going slow, you see a lot more, and guess what? Wow. Any corner that I get in this car is a gift. Gotta love Utah. Posted speed limit is 80, so guess what? Everyone is doing 90. I am almost home. Well, okay, I've got actually about 150 miles till I get home. At that point, I will have spent 1,300 miles in this car. It has been a lot of driving, and it has been wonderful. And if you can't tell, it's loud in here. It's quite loud. The best choice I made on this trip versus trips in the past is having noise-canceling headphones. That has revolutionized the ability to do road trips in this car. Cruise control would be really nice about now, because you have to keep your foot keeping your speed, and that's difficult. Over time, what happens, especially in a car this light that responds this well to the gas pedal, it's difficult to keep your foot in that perfect position. The other issue that I have is that my right calf muscle gets pressed into this bulbous structure, plastic surround for the gear shift. And that just starts to hurt after a while. And what I find is when I drive this car all day, I get out and my right leg is just stiff and sore. The rest of me isn't. That is. And that's because I'm trying to just hold that body position with my right leg for miles and miles and miles and miles. Look, these are the downsides. These are the trade-offs. A full day of freeway driving, no cruise control, sucks. The biggest lesson for me with this road trip is just this car should road trip more. And I spoke against it when I first got the car because my experience getting home was tough. I had stuff packed all the way this high in the passenger seat. The full footwell was packed. It was 115 degrees through Vegas and I just sweated my way home. I didn't enjoy it on the road trip at all and only thought it was good for back roads. I set out to do this road trip knowing I was going to do amazing roads, and we did. But also knowing I was going to have 2 full days where it was just, let's drive, let's just get somewhere. I'm on the back of that now. I'm on, 150 miles from home. And I'm proud of that. I'm genuinely pleased to have put this car through that situation and to come out on the backside loving it even more. I know that's a cliche. I know he drove his car a lot. He likes his car. I get it. This is a special car. It's also a difficult car. It's not for everybody. It's hard to do in normal situations. This takes some planning. But something about getting through the planning and getting to the other side makes me feel like I earned something. It makes me proud to have done this trip. Maybe that's weird. But what I know is I love this car even more. And this is one of those experiences on the back end where my son has said, when can we do this again? When can we road trip the Lotus specifically again? Apparently this car will be in my garage for a while yet. I look forward to more updates. I look forward to more road trips. This is the beginning of putting serious miles on this car because I've loved this trip. I love this car.